for Research Methodology. These collaborative initiatives has been thoughtfully organized by the Synergy Research Foundation of India, RFI-CARE, and Arka Jain University in association with Abhyuday University, Eklavya University, Paru University, Kalinga University, Bradford International Business School, Shod Malwa, and MKES Nagin Das Khandwala College, Mumbai. The program is also graciously supported by JHARF, Academic Research Guide Association, and EduAcademic Inc. Now, it's my privilege to introduce our distinguished session expert, Dr. Archie Dubey ma'am. She is currently serving as the head of the Faculty of Management Studies at ICFAI University, Raipur. She holds a PhD in management and qualified the UGC NET in 2012. With more than 16 years of teaching experience, she has also been awarded a prestigious research fellowship from INTI University, Malaysia. She has contributed extensively to research with over 37 publications in reputed national and international journals, including Scopus, ABDC, and UGC CARE listed ones, and has presented her work at several conferences in India and abroad. She is the author of 3 books: Foundation of Business Communication, Business Development Management, and Essentials of Research Methodology. And she has edited 6 more with national and international ISBNs. At the institutional level, she has played a significant role in initiatives such as NAC, IQAC, PhD Cell, and the Research Cell, while also organizing numerous workshops, conferences, and faculty development programs. Currently, she is serving as co-principal investigator for an ICSSR funded project and principal investigator for a state planning commission project in Chhattisgarh. In addition, she has 4 published patents and 2 design patents to her credit. She has chaired technical sessions, delivered keynote address at international forums, and received recognition such as Distinguished Professor and Excellence in Higher Education. She has successfully guided 6 PhD scholars and beyond academics pursues her passion for writing, blogging, and poetry. So, with this brief introduction, I now have the honor of inviting Dr. Archie ma'am to kindly begin today's session on the topic research design and sampling. Thank you. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Dr. Neha Jain, for the warm welcome and the introduction. Thank you, Dr. Ajay Jain, sir, for providing this opportunity. And very good evening to all the esteemed participants from the various parts of India. And very good evening to all the sponsors and organizers who have associated with today's workshop. So I think without further ado, we have already crossed 5 minutes of time and we have 1.5 hours of time. Rather, we need to discuss on the 2 important topics, that is research design and sampling design. So with due permission of Dr. Ajay Jain, sir, so may I start the session right now and may I start the screen? Ajay Jain, sir, shall I start presenting the screen, sir? Fine, I think he's not there. So, Dr. Neha, is my screen visible right now?
Yes, ma'am, it's visible.
Just a minute, I think, yeah. Yeah,
yes,
is it on the full screen mode? Is it visible? Yes, sir.
Yes,
is it visible in the full? Yeah. So, without further ado, let's start the topic of today, that is research and sampling design. The topic given to me was the research design and sampling, actually. So both the research design and the sampling design we are going to discuss right now. So before discussing, so this is the brief overview of the research steps or the process of the research, and these are following are the research steps. So I wanted to know from the audience that do you have the basic idea of the research or we start from the scratch, or we need to discuss every raw things here? Can we know from the audience if you have, because the basics of the research methodology idea? So can I assume a basic level of from your end?
Yes, ma'am.
Anyone? Okay, fine. Thank you so much. So
Fine,
this is
okay.
the steps. Yes. And Dr. Neha, may I know what is the mode of communication? Is it bilingual or is it English?
Bilingual, ma'am.
Anybody else can contribute here? Anyone else can give the idea?
Bilingual, ma'am.
Bilingual will be comfortable. Okay, fine. I'll be using both kind of languages. Fine. So these are the basic steps. So when we are talking about the research and sampling design, so first, the very first thing that we are going for doing any kind of research is the identification of the research design, research topic in the mind. So identification of the problem is the first step. And rather the identification of the problem, we are trying to formulate it in our mind. सबसे पहले हमारे दिमाग में क्लियर होना चाहिए कि हम क्या रिसर्च का जो टॉपिक है वो क्या करना चाहते हैं, और वो आइडेंटिफाई करने के बाद ही we are trying to formulate it in a clear cut
I
statement.
don't understand
Then
Hindi, ma'am. I'm sorry, ma'am.
fine. Okay, let us continue in the English, because I understand that people who are understanding Hindi, they have basic idea of English also. So let us continue in English itself. Okay. And whenever, if you have some problem, you please interrupt in between regarding language or any kind of thing. Fine. Thank you so much. We are continuing in English itself. So we are talking about the research steps. So the very first thing is, when we are trying to identify anything, what we are going to do, any kind of research in their mind, and then later on, we are trying to formulate the particular thing. Formulation, defining the problem and identifying the problem is a kind of, it consists of the hair difference between that. Identifying the problem, it means a clear-cut concept in your mind that what kind of research you're going to do, you're supposed to do. And when you're going to clear-cut formulate it, you're going to clear-cut state it, you're going to clear-cut write it, that is defining the problem. So there is basic difference between that. And after that, you're going to see, there is a difference in whatever I have written over here. And when you try to see the different kind of websites and different kind of books and literatures, it consists of certain variations. So basically, it varies from the literature to literature that what are the different steps of the research. So ideally, the second step is related to the literature of review. And the third part consists of the methodological part. And under the methodological part, the very first part, which is related with the defining the research questions, and after the research questions, we are going for the research objective, and then after our objective, we are going for the research hypothesis. And then afterwards, the concept of the research design started. So this is the research design, that before going for the research design, you need to clear-cut have the idea regarding the objectives, regarding the research questions, regarding the what you are going to formulate as a research problem. And after formulating the research problem, after defining it, and after going through a proper literature review, then only officially you are going to start the research design. Okay. So these are the previous steps that you are going through. And when we are going to talking about the research design, basically it is a kind of map. It is a kind of blueprint. Okay. So like before you start building a structure, or you start building master plan of any of the architecture, like building or any infrastructure, you have a clear-cut idea of design in the mind. Okay. And you must hire a kind of architecture or a designer, so to identify that how you're going to utilize the area, and how beautiful you can design your architect or the building. Similarly, when you're going to conduct any kind of the research, you need to clearly define in your mind that what you are going to conduct, how you are going to conduct, where you are going to conduct, in what manner you are going to conduct. So this is basically designing your entire research. Before literature review, you are trying to identify that what past work has been done already, what other has done. So in that, you can hide what is the purpose of literature review? Can anybody tell me? Because each and every step is connected. Fine. So can anybody from the audience please let me know what is the purpose of conducting the research literature review? Anyone from the audience?
To find the research gaps.
Yeah, exactly. May I have other answers, please? Yes, that is very important to identify the research gaps. Before that, any basic answer? Research gap is a very, refined kind of answer. It's a last step of answer.
Ma'am, it's also to
Any
get an
basic answer?
idea of what all. Okay, go on, go on.
Yes. Yes, to get an
What
idea
other
what
has
has been
been
done.
done already in their past research, ma'am.
Uh,
Right. Any other
then
idea?
certain times it gives you the idea how to create a future strategy for your research. Like what certain times we have been confused, okay, how I can collect this particular data. So for certain time from the previous research, you can get an idea. So it helps in that also.
Right. So you're actually right. So why we are conducting this particular kind of research? Because just a minute. Just a minute. Just give me a few minutes. Yes. So what we are trying to say that why we are conducting the literature review. The very first, it shows that it pave your path. That how, because you're quite new in the field. Suppose I'm conducting a literature, conducting the research in HR analytics, that how HR is going to automate your system of recruitment, right, in your university if you're an academician. Then I don't have any idea regarding the same thing. But before that, if I'm conducting a literature review, I must find a sufficient literature which pave my way, which show me the path that how they have conducted, so that I can follow the same steps that they have, used for their own system. So I can adopt the same system to just explore that what has been conducted earlier, and maybe I am very new to this particular way, so that I can repeat whatever they can done, or I can use also the same path that what they have used. I can use the same variables. I can use the same kind of variables, the same similar kind of hypothesis, and the similar way of doing my research. But what if I am going to repeat the same thing that what earlier has been done? Does it make sense that if I'm using the same thing, if I'm repeating the same idea, does it make sense? No, it doesn't make any sense. And if I'm repeating after reading the literature review of others, if I'm repeating the same thing that what they have done earlier, then if I'm repeating the same thing, this will make no sense, and I am not going to contribute anything in the existing literature. So what? Why I am studying the literature review? I am using the literature review, or rather the word is review of related literature. Okay. So why, after using the studying the related literature, I am going to know what path has been done, what path has been conducted, what the way the research has been earlier conducted. But I am not supposed to repeat the same thing that has been done earlier. Rather, I'm going to leave all these particular things. As somebody stated that identifying the literature gap, review gap. That this is the basic purpose, that what has been done earlier, we can get an idea, but we are not going to repeat it, that whatever has been done. Because if I am going to repeat the same thing, if I'm going to repeat the same thing, then it is making no sense in the terms of novelty, in the terms of creativity. And if I'm repeating the same thing, my paper won't get published anywhere. My work would not be identified. My paper get published anywhere in any of the random journal, but it may not be indexed in a very reputed repository like Scopus Web of Sciences, SCI, SCIE, and anything else. Okay. I may be contributing by publishing in any of the random journal, but may not be publishing any of the reputed journal with a proper index journal. I'm not going to publish. If any case, if I'm published in any of the random journal, my work would not get cited. I don't get any kind of citations, so it would not get any kind of recognition. So in order to find out the research gap, in order to find out what has not been done, in order to avoid repetition, I am going for literature review. And after that, I get an idea that what kind of variables can be used, what kind of hypothesis can be framed, what kind of data analysis tools can be used, how the data can be interpreted. and how can I differentiate my work from other? After getting certain kind of idea from the previous step, I am going to formulate my research design. It means that after, in order to get the research design, I should have a basic brief idea, and I should have a background idea in order to get the research design. Okay, it is like that, that after, in order to make my research design, I must have a degree of architecture. You can imagine like that. So in order to why we are formulating the research design, in order to get a master plan, in order to get a blueprint, in order to get a map, that how after the literature review I am going to persist my study, I'm going to continue my study, how I'm going to continue study, where, what, with every question except why. So except why, I'm going to answer each and every question through my research design. So it is offering me a blueprint, it is offering me a master plan, that how, basically about three things. It answers the three things. First, how I am going to collect the data. Second, how I am going to measure the data. And third, how I am going to analyze and interpret the data. So to conduct that collection, measuring and analyzing and interpreting the data, I must have a research design. Okay, so this is the, and why it is research design important, as we have discussed earlier. So it is the first rule of good research, that before executing it, you need to plan it out. And how you're going to plan it out? You need to plan it out with the help of research design itself. Okay, so that we have already discussed much introductory part over there. So I don't think that it will take much time to discuss all the things introductory part. Rather, we should focus upon the what are the different types of research design. Okay, so in order to gain sufficient information regarding the variables, regarding the hypothesis, regarding the data collection techniques, how much variables we need to use, we are going to use the what will be the geographical location of your research, what will be the variables, what we whether how much how many type of variable you are going to use, whether you are going to use 2 variables, 3 variables, 4 variable, multivariable, okay, which kind of hypothesis you're going to formulate, null or alternate, what kind of hypothesis, what kind of testing you're going to apply to test your hypothesis, okay, how you're going to analyze your data, how you're going to interpret your data, what before that, what will be the sources of collection your data, whether it is primary or secondary. All these kind of answers can be designed, can be given with the help of the research design. So these are the objectives. Overall, we can conclude that research design is a particular process which is offering you the master plan. It is offering you a blueprint and the map that how you are going to further conduct your research process in terms of the various elements that we have discussed right now. जो रिसर्च डिजाइन में आपको जो चीजें जरूरी है, जैसे कि आप किस जगह पर डेटा कंडक्ट करेंगे, किस सोर्स से डेटा यूज करेंगे, प्राइमरी डेटा या सेकेंडरी डेटा, ठीक है, आप सैम्पलिंग कैसे कलेक्ट करेंगे, सैम्पलिंग डिजाइन कौन सी होगी, हाइपोथेसिस कैसे लगाएंगे, वेरिएबल्स कितने यूज करेंगे, तो ये सारे के सारे आंसर्स आपको आपके रिसर्च डिजाइन में मिलते हैं. ठीक है, ये देखिए, तो see, these are the classification of the research design. These are, first one is the exploratory research design, and the second is the conclusive. Basically the basic level, it can be divided into 2 parts, the exploratory and the conclusive. Under conclusive research design, further it can be categorized under the descriptive and causal. So if we are overviewing the exploratory and conclusive, overall in the layman's language, we can conclude that we can have 3 type of research design. First is exploratory, second is descriptive, and third is causal / experimental research design. Fine. Causal talks about cause and effect relationship. It is also known as experimental research design. So overall, basic, there are 2 types, and the layman language, in the very general, if you find out the literature, if you explore the literature, you will find out the 3 types of research design. First one is exploratory, and the second one is descriptive, and the third one is causal. And you can see exploratory is further divided into 4 parts. Okay,